everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Regina, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Mathseeds. So Mathseeds is to math what Reading Eggs is to reading. Mathseeds teaches students kind of those fundamentals of reading, but it goes from about pre-K all the way up to through third grade math. So I'm actually currently using this program with my kindergarten student and with my second grader, and they love it. It's fun, it's engaging, and there is so much to do. So in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the program. We'll do a full review of that, and I'll show you how it works, what's in there, and then give you some tips on how I'm integrating it into my math curriculum. Spoiler, it's kind of our main math curriculum with the program plus the printables. So I'll show you that, but don't forget to like this video. That is really helpful, helps it get out to more people. And of course, if content about homeschool, about curriculum, about all those things is something that you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You'll get some extra features at the end if you do that. I wish, right? It doesn't work that way, but go ahead and subscribe anyway. And before we go on, can we talk for a minute about my plants? They are popping on camera, right? So devil's ivy here. We have my anthurium over here. Another, I think it's arthurium. ZZ plant behind me. Okay, so let's dive deep into this Mathseeds review. So first and foremost, Mathseeds is a part of a program probably known mostly as Reading Eggs. It's a program that has lots of different assets. You can see them all right here, but they are all sold together as one. Right now in 2021, October, it's when I'm making this video. Right now, the cost of the program, you can purchase it month to month. And I believe for each month, it's $10 or $9.99 a month if you pay by the month, which of course adds up to $120 a year. Or if you purchase the entire year at once, annual billing, then it's $70 or $69.99 for the entire year. So obviously a much better deal if you buy it by the year. So this program does come at a cost. Now for that, let's say you do annual billing, like I'm guessing most people probably do if they purchase this program. For that $70, you get Mathseeds, the program I'm reviewing today, but you also get Reading Eggs, which is their Learn to Read program that teaches phonics, Fast Phonics, which is another Learn to Read program. It is more of an accelerated phonics program. It goes through it rather quickly. It's great for kids who have skill gaps. I'll be reviewing those programs in the near future, or maybe they're already reviewed, depending on when you're watching this video. It has a library full of, I want to say like 2,500, I believe, ebooks. And each of them have quizzes after them too, so students can test their comprehension. It also has Reading Eggs Junior for much younger students, and Reading Express, which is a reading comprehension program. So I'm planning to do a video on Reading Express as well, but right now for today we're going into Mathseeds. Also with that purchase price, you get the program for up to 4 students. So if you have multiple kids within those age ranges, then this could be an incredible value for you if you find it useful. So Mathseeds is their math program. Now, as you can see, it says ages 3 to 9. The grade levels for Mathseeds are grades kindergarten through third grade. Those are the grade levels that the content covers. So, you know, if you're starting your third grader with some kindergarten content, your 3-year-old with kindergarten content, then that's where that would come into play. But let's just take a look at the program. So right now I'm logging in as my daughter just because she has stuff going on in here. She is a second grader and she's doing second grade work here in Mathseeds. Now within Mathseeds, there are lots of different parts of this program. The main part are the lessons. That is like the bread and butter of the program, the part where the actual instruction of new content takes place. So that's the place where your kids will probably spend most of their time if you use this program. Now for us, Mathseeds is my main math curriculum for my second grade student and for my kindergarten student. So at the end of the video, I'll tell you a little bit more about how exactly we do that. But right now, I'm just going to show you what it is. So if I go into a lesson here, 114, that shows the lesson number that my daughter is on. The way that the lessons work, Mathseeds has a certain number of lessons. Actually, let me step back. It has a certain number of lessons. I believe there's 1 through 50 are kindergarten, 50 through 100 are first grade, 100 through 150 are second grade, and 150 to 200 are third grade. I'll check that when I show you the little guide that shows them, but I believe that that's it. So you can actually place your student, go in and start them on a specific lesson, or you can have them take the little placement test they have. That's what I did. Just had my daughter take the placement test. It's not an incredibly scientific, psychometrically valid placement test. Essentially, they answer questions, and then once they get 3 wrong, it places them. But it's, it's good enough to place them, right? Or you could just start them at the beginning of a grade level. It's completely up to you. So she's on lesson 114. And so each of the lessons is on a map. And this is something that you'll see in Reading Eggs, Reading Express as well. It's just kind of how the program is set up. And they work through those different lessons on the map. So she has gone through, let's see, on this map, there's 5 lessons per map. So once she finishes this one, 115 will pop up over here. And then she'll have an end of map quiz. So I'm going to go back a little bit because she hasn't done 114 yet. That's the one that she's on right now. I'm going to go back one so I can show you some that's already done. So each of the lessons, I'm just going to hop into this one.
Hello there, Dizzy. You look as though you're trying to work something out.
Oh, hi, Doc. Yes, I promised to give Ruby 14 of my special stickers. And I'm trying to work out how many stickers I'll have left.
How many special stickers do you have?
29.
Well, Dizzy, we can use a jump strategy to help us find the answer.
So the lessons have a lot of little mini parts within the lesson. So each lesson starts with a little video that introduce the concept in a little bit of a story-based mode, where these characters are different characters. One of them actually is named Ruby, which my daughter gets a kick out of because her name is Ruby. But there's characters, and they kind of set up a situation for what's going on and how they need to learn it. And then it goes on to, so the first part is usually just a video where it kind of sets up the situation. And then you can see how long it is, how much time is left down there. And then the next part, and it actually just usually keeps going.
We always take the smaller number away from the bigger number. Tap on the smaller number.
And
So that means I get to keep 15 stickers if I...
so it goes through that story format, introduces a problem, it might come back to the story, has another problem, and so on and so forth through that. And so as you can see, there's a lot of pieces to these little lessons, and they're all short, just less than a minute or a minute or two if the student is working through a particular problem. So let's see. And so each little section, there might be a little game that they play. Let's see, here's one.
Subtract to 20. Choose the correct answer.
Well done. Well done.
So notice there's a little animation whenever the activity was over. To celebrate, you get acorns added to your bank. Here, notice these acorns that you get whenever you win or whenever you complete a little piece of the activity. So students get a lot of positive reinforcement through the process. So I'm not going to click into all of these, but there's lots of different things that are reinforcing that one concept. And then they also, in each lesson, they get a little creature that they get to hatch. It's so silly, but the kids love it. Okay, and then the last part of every single lesson is the quiz. It's the Show Me Your Skills quiz, where the student has to answer, I want to say it's 10 questions, sometimes even more than that. And it...
Show me your skills!
And it really tests whether or not the student has mastered that concept and is ready to move on. So yeah, it's a 10-question quiz. It's a quick look.
Subtract.
I don't know why that timer was there because the quiz is not timed.
Subtract.
And so student would work through these questions, and that's that. So let me exit out of here and go back to my lessons. And so the other thing I want to show you guys on this area is the end of map quiz. So after each 5 lessons, there is a quiz, like a cumulative quiz that the student takes. And here we go. Hope this doesn't mess up her progress.
Welcome to the Mathseeds quiz for Map 22. This quiz has 15 questions.
So on this quiz, there are 15 questions, and the student gets a very specific goal on if they want to get first, second, or third, or gold, silver, or bronze medal, and they start the quiz. And they can take it more than once if they want to improve their score. I'm not going to show you this. I mean, the setup is similar to other quizzes because I'm logged in as my daughter. I won't mess up her quiz scores. But there is plenty of built-in assessment within the program so that you can, because the program is doing like the major, direct instruction, you want to make sure that your kid is mastering the content. And so the built-in quizzes are a great way for you to go in and look and see how they're doing. So that's the main lessons area where they're working through and learning those new concepts. Now, some of the other areas, the arcade area and the shop, is where they can go in and buy things. Notice these acorns, they spend those in the arcade on games and in the shop because they have a little tree house that they own, and they can buy furniture, they can buy clothes for their avatar, they can do all kinds of things with that money. That's why this guy is dressed kind of differently, because she's dressed him up and bought him new clothes, etc. There's also games in here to play as well. But the other areas that are really instructional is the mental minute area. This area is a really cool way for students to practice those math facts and get them to a level of automaticity. So I'm just going to click in here. I don't want to play it and mess up her badges. But so within the mental minute area, they can choose which ones they want to do: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Over here, I believe they have the ability to earn badges for these. So for addition, these are the badges she's earned, and so she has one still left to earn. These are her subtraction badges. I don't think she's earned any multiplication or division yet because she hasn't gotten very deep into those concepts. So oddly enough, to the kids, this is a huge deal. So she's trying to earn all of these things. And then she can actually see the progress, because each mental minute there's different ones. And so the goal is essentially to get all of them done for addition, then all of them for subtraction. So she does these probably each time she does an online lesson. She'll also come in and do a mental minute because they go pretty quickly. And so then they come in here and it's just answering questions as fast as you can. I'll insert a little clip of her doing this on her tablet just so you guys can see what that looks like.
Mama, you recording?
Mm-hmm. And then the driving tests. This is another little game built
Choose
in.
a driving test.
But these also have an element of like math to them. So they go in, they essentially take a little test in one of these areas, and then based on how they score, they get a certain amount of time to like play this driving game. All right, so those are the main areas of Mathseeds. Now, I want to show you like the other pieces of it and how we actually use it. Because like I mentioned, it is essentially our math curriculum because it's robust enough to serve that way. Now, let me show you what it looks like from the parent side so you can see and how I put that together to serve as a math curriculum. Okay, so now I'm here on my parent dashboard. So I have my 3 kids in here. My son, actually, he's a 5th grader. He doesn't really use the program, but I created an account for him just in case he wanted to come in and use the library, etc. And then I used the 4th one and made it me so that I can go in and look at any lessons. And all I did was just set myself at, like, when I placed instead of doing the placement test, I placed myself, and I placed myself at the highest level on each one. That way I can go in and click through any lesson. Because it showed that I had tested out of it, which meant that it was open to me. So that allows me to go in and just play around whenever I want if I need to go see something. So now the way that I use this and the way that I plan this to make sure that it's actually covering the content I need to cover is, one, the program isn't just digital. It comes with aligned activity sheets for the students to practice what they're learning on pencil and paper. So every lesson in Mathseeds has an aligned worksheet, and this is how I kind of round it out as my full curriculum, right? I have the online piece where the direct instruction happens, and there's practice built in, assessment built in, but then we also have that paper and pencil practice as well. And that's a great place for me to interact with her, for me to really see, is she getting it? Is she not? Is she able to transfer this knowledge that she's gaining online to paper and pencil and actually further than that? So that's where the worksheets come in. So after she completes a lesson, the next day she does the aligned worksheet. And so when I'm planning my week, I look and see what 2 lessons are next for her, and I go ahead and print out those worksheets. So this week she has done, so she'll be doing lesson 114. So I can open up that worksheet, and lesson 115. And so I'll open up that worksheet. And so the first page, it actually comes with a little lesson plan. You could see lesson objectives. You can see the standards, the Common Core standards that they're aligned to. Obviously, you can look them up for your state. Also, it gives some tips for providing extra assistance and even some activities you can do with your child to help reinforce the skill or to help your child if they're struggling. So it even gives you like a plan for how to do it. You know, if you wanted to teach, have them practice, have them do worksheet 1, and then have them come back to the animated Mathseeds lesson. So you can break it up like that and kind of, do it in parts if that works for you. I just have her do the full online lesson and then the full worksheet. But if it's a lot for your child, then of course you can break it up. And so then she works on that worksheet and puts it in her folder, and then I usually look at it that day, sometimes right after she finishes if I'm not working with one of my other children. And that way, if there's any issues with her understanding, if there's anything that she's struggling with, then I can address it right then. We have a little discussion. I help to clear up any misconceptions, help to reteach anything that needs to be retaught if maybe she didn't quite understand it, and then we go from there. So Mathseeds gets to do that initial instruction, and if she gets it and she's able to do this perfectly, then that means that was successful. If there's an area where she struggles, because not every time the first time is going to be perfect, then we stop and we address it right then and there. And so I still do that teaching element for her and ensure that she masters it. But I don't have to sit and do that direct instruction because this program does it really well and in a way that she is engaged and can work independently. Okay, and you go to lesson overview, you can actually pull up this overview that gives you a breakdown of every single lesson. So I can see Mathseeds Kindergarten is lessons 1 through 50. So those are the ones that are aligned to kindergarten. And then you can see exactly what is covered in every single lesson. So I can look over here. My daughter was on lesson. Here we go. My daughter was on lesson 114, right? So I can come over here, and I know grade 2, lesson 114 is 2nd grade. And the lesson name is quarter 2 and quarter after. She's going to be learning measurement and data. And then the content outcomes are right here for me. So I know exactly what she should be learning in that lesson. And I also know with there being 50 lessons per grade, then if I want her to complete all of second grade in one school year, and let's say my school year is 36 weeks, then if she completes, a lesson and a half each week, or we could just do 2 lessons a week, then you'll be more than okay. Or 2 lessons some week, 1 lesson some weeks, but you can just divide that out and determine how many lessons you need to complete in a week to complete all of the second grade content. Right. So for us, my daughter is a pretty fast learner. She picks up these concepts pretty quickly. At least she has been so far. So what we're doing is we're doing 2 lessons a week. We only do a 4-day school week. We don't do school, well, we don't do official school on Monday. So we have official school Tuesday through Friday. So the way that we set it up is this. On Tuesday, she does the worksheet, the printed out worksheet from Friday, the lesson she completed on Friday. And then on Wednesday, she does a new lesson. On Thursday, she does the worksheet aligned to the Wednesday lesson. And then on Friday, she does a new lesson. Now, of course, you could swap that where they start with a lesson and then the worksheet. The only reason we do it that way is because of the fact that she's also using Reading Express. And I kind of do something similar where she does an online lesson and then the aligned worksheet. And since we do the Reading Express online lesson on Tuesdays, I swapped it for Mathseeds so that she's not doing both online lessons, Reading Express and Mathseeds on the same day. That's the only reason I do it that way, so that screen time is spread out rather than her having a big chunk. Now, the time it takes to complete a lesson, but I had her do a lesson logged in on my computer while I recorded the screen, and it took her 27 minutes from beginning to end to go through an entire lesson. As you saw, there were lots of pieces to it. So, for her to do that, and that's like her math time for the day, that's not bad. And then the next day for her to do the worksheet. So she's learning a lot of concepts, and it's not taking her entire, day. And the last thing I want to show you guys about Mathseeds is progress, right? And how to monitor your students' progress. The reporting isn't like super deep, but it's enough to kind of tell you where they're going, and you can always go in, log in as a student, and take a deeper look if you want to see. But it shows me where she started in lesson 91 and her last lesson completed. So the total lessons completed, the certificates she's earned, she's gotten 4 gold and 2 silver, the number of quizzes she's completed, and those are those map quizzes, ones at the end of the map, 4, 91, and 6. They don't have any reporting here on the mental minutes, but you can go in as your child to see those. So you get some overview information on how your child is doing in the program. And that's it on my review from Mathseeds. So I would definitely recommend it if you have students in that K to 3rd grade range and you're looking for a math curriculum. I think online learning is just a great way to go because your students can work independently. It saves you a little bit of time and work from doing that. One, the planning is super easy because they're just working in order. You're just grabbing the worksheets, of course, if you decide to use those. And not to mention, your student can work through independently. That gives you more time to work with your other children or just do something else rather than stand in front of your child and have to teach them every single concept when this is a great way for them to learn it.
All right, thank you for sticking around to the end. If you found this content helpful, hit that like button and that subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.